Welcome to PD on the Go, the podcast that delivers bite-sized learning on communication, collaboration, and facilitation for busy teacher leaders. Tune in while you're in the car, on your lunch break, or making copies, and get ready to level up your leadership skills. My name is Hallie Case, and I'm with the Office of Professional Learning in Fairfax County Public Schools. And I'm joined today by Mary Beth, who you all know. And we also are very excited to introduce to you our new teammate, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
I'm Sarah Phillips, and I am so excited to be joining the team.
And we're so excited to have you, Sarah, and that you're jumping right in and joining the podcast. And so we've been talking as a team and really trying to think about, you know, just like our team has gone through transitions, teams in schools go through transitions. And even if you're only changing one person on a team, it's a new team, right? And so we're going to today do a live demonstration of one of the things that we recommend that teams do when they have had some changes in who's on the team, which is to just share about themselves. So we took something called a 5-minute personality test that describes your different strengths and different areas for improvement, or things that can go off the rails depending on your personality. And it's called the 5-minute personality test, but there's 4 types of personalities: the lion, the otter, the golden retriever, and the beaver. So we each took this test, and we have not shared our answers with each other. And we're going to do it live or on this podcast and kind of demonstrate how a team could engage in a similar conversation. So first, before we get into that, when we recommend community builders like this, sometimes people are like, oh, those take too much time. And it can feel that way because work is important. And at the beginning of a school year especially, it doesn't feel like we should take the time to do this. But why is it a non-negotiable, really, on a new team, Mary Beth, for people to engage in this sort of work?
Yeah, it helps lay the foundation for the rest of the year. But there is sort of like you said, at the beginning of the year when people are like, we just want to get our rooms ready for open house. We just want to get set up. We're welcoming kids. And we don't think about the work that's going to pan out for the whole year. And so if we can take this time to kind of get to know each other, even if we've been working, Hallie and I have been working together for 3 years plus, but 3 years on this team. And then we're welcoming Sarah, who we've known for a while, but it's still a different dynamic. And how can we lean on each other and learn from each other to sort of set us up for success when things get hard, because that will happen, right?
Right.
And like you said, it's an investment. It's either a pay it now or pay it later. So if we invest in the team building now, it prevents frustration down the road when we get to the tougher decision-making parts or other heavier brainstorming that we're going to do inevitably together.
Yeah, so we can sort of understand someone's perspective or where they're coming from if we think about their personality.
Yeah.
And this is just one type of test. We've talked about compass points before. That's another one. And it did take me 5 minutes, including reading the descriptions of each of the personality types. So it isn't a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we ready to share?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. All right. So first, let's just talk about which one, according to the test you identified with, a little bit about what were some of the descriptors of that personality, and if you agree with them for yourself. So Sarah, which one were you?
All right. Mine came out to be the golden retriever, and closely followed by beaver. It was interesting to me.
We have our papers in front of us. If you're not watching, you might hear our rustling, but we're kind of looking at the personality test. Okay, so tell us about the golden retriever.
So the overview of the golden retriever is that they have a desire, they're motivated by good relationships and appreciation of others. It says that golden retrievers are slow-paced, people-oriented workers, and that we value patience, teamwork, compassion, support and dependability.
And do you agree with those things for yourself?
I do. There was one part that kind of threw me for a loop was the slow-paced part, and I wasn't sure about that because I do like to jump in and get things done, and I do agree with all of the rest of it about relationships being kind of at the core. The natural weaknesses, which is the other column, also matched the fact that indecision is sometimes a problem. Sacrificing things for the sake of harmony, avoiding confrontation. Confrontation is hard for me. And another one I disagreed with was fearing change, which might be where slow-paced comes in, that change is slow for golden retrievers to adjust to.
But you don't
All in
fear
all,
change.
I don't fear change. Yeah. All in all, however, this seems like a very good description of me. Good. Relationships first, relaxed, friendly environment, freedom to work at my pace. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you, Mary Beth?
All right. So I am an otter. And otters are fast-paced to a balance, but maybe you're not slow-paced, so it will work out.
Yeah.
People-oriented, which kind of like goes along with golden retrievers, loves to talk. Imagine that on a podcast. Good communicator.
Also true.
Enthusiastic, fun-seeking, and makes decisions intuitively and fast, but sometimes makes a lot of right calls, but can make wrong calls because they can like jump in and be a little bit impulsive, which I do see that in myself. They talked about some needs for something, or some weaknesses could be like not detail oriented or disorganized, can be reactive, listens to feelings above logic. Sometimes I do think that sometimes I listen to feelings, but I wouldn't say like disorganized or reactive. I do think that I try to analyze a situation and really think through multiple options. I'm just a verbal processor. So sometimes I think that could be how it could be read as impulsivity, because my initial thoughts come out, but maybe I haven't thought through it all the way because I'm thinking out loud, so I eventually will get to it. It's just like you're hearing that thinking.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's about otters. What about you, Holly?
So I, my highest score by a lot was lion.
Okay.
Wow.
So lions are decisive and goal-oriented, fast-paced, and they care about getting tasks done, can take charge, persistent. I think like a natural strength listed that I don't agree with for myself is risk taker. Like I wish I took more risks, and I guess it depends on the context, I guess. Like I like change. I don't view change as a risk necessarily, but in certain contexts I am sort of like, if it's like I think this feels good.
Right.
If it's working. But natural weaknesses are being impatient. Poor listener stood out to me only because I think that's something that I have worked really hard to get better at. So that makes sense. And I still find myself with those like taking mental journeys or like wandering in my thoughts and needing to ask people to repeat themselves, especially if there's a lot going on around, then it's hard for me to listen. May view projects more important than people. I don't know if I agree with that for myself either, but I mean, certainly when I think about this compared to like compass points, I would be more of a north, and I think lions are similar to north in terms of like being task oriented and wanting to get through work that needs to get done.
It's kind of like golden retrievers, I think, are very similar to Souths.
Exactly.
I don't know if you align yourself to that.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's missing.
Yeah, so we are 3 people and there's 4. So it's interesting. So none of us have the
We're
same.
the same.
Okay.
So one thing then is like, what are we missing? A beaver?
Yeah. So a beaver has a strong need to do things right and by the book. So they are very detail-oriented, analytical, or orderly. They have high standards. But some weaknesses could be like they're too hard on themselves. They could be perfectionists or overly cautious, won't make decisions without all the facts. So we're missing that like detail piece. And I think details came up as strengths in some of the other areas.
Yeah. So when we think about this then, how might knowing this about each other help us work well together in the future, or like when things do feel like we're in a really busy time? What do we want to keep in mind?
So something that stood out to me right away is both the lion and the otter like to make decisions quickly and impulsive. And sometimes I know Hallie and I can be like, yeah, let's go do this. and we need to make sure that we're like, because we don't want Sarah to be like, well, everyone's good with that, so we just want to go with that.
Right.
Or like to avoid that confrontation of like, you're a new person on our team, not wanting to jump in or speak up. We can make sure we're slowing down and saying, all right, Sarah, what else? Or like pushing to say, like, poke holes in what we're talking about to see, are we thinking of all perspectives or lenses?
And that would help me feel comfortable because someone's encouraging me to bring forward my ideas versus me burying them for the good of the group or to keep the peace.
Right. And especially, it's interesting too, because I don't know how you're feeling, but as a new person, sometimes it can be like, oh, well, I don't want to suggest a change if that's how they've been doing it. And we don't want you to feel like you can't suggest changes. But if that's also already naturally aligned to being a golden retriever, it could like heighten it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And my like decisiveness could override even an opportunity to propose a different way. So, okay, so there's a lot more we could do to talk about this, and I think we have an overview of this and a few things to keep in mind. And the neat thing about something like this is we can continue to like point out like, oh, that was a very lion thing that I just did. So we will share this 5-minute personality test on our resources for you, which you can always find through our Instagram account at FCPS_PD at the link in our bio, or by searching PD on the Go in FCPS's Atlas. So thank you for tuning in and for helping us welcome Sarah, and we hope you join us next time for some more PD on the Go.